Hello, welcome to Ghost Prime Transformers Reviews. As you could probably tell by the title, we're looking at Studioseries 86 Slag. Definitely Slag, not Slug. Don't forget it. This is the latest leader class figure in the Studioseries 86 line, and he is a beefy, chunky guy. I love this. Took me a little while to get it, unfortunately. My pre-order for an Amazon now says February. I ordered him with Rekgar, and they say February now. The hell is up with that? Anyway, back to the subject at hand. He is a pretty good looking figure and fits right in with the Dinobots. I really hope we get the rest. Without any further ado, let's get to the review. Taking a quick look at the packaging, he is a Studioseries figure, so he comes in a Studioseries style packaging. He has the art here, Daniel up here, he's in the Dino mode. On the side, Dino mode and Daniel. Oh, look at his little face. Because that's something you certainly don't get with the toy. On the back, you see him in both modes. He has the display box. He has Ready to Pounce Daniel. On the side, there he is. Bottom, we don't need to look at that. Of course, inside you get a set of instructions, because what would a figure be that you gotta transform? Without instructions, a puzzle. And you could choose to use them or not. The one thing about this is it doesn't really give a good example to how hard this step is to actually put together. It's a pain in the ass. Instructions. You get a backdrop, and it does unfold. For accessories, you get Daniel Witwicky, I guess it's supposed to be. You get Slag's gun, which is actually painted in this almost pearlescent sort of, it's got a weird sheen to it, almost like the Masterpiece Megatron color gray. It's almost pearlescent. I don't know if you can see the shine. I don't know if that's coming up on camera, but I could see it in person. It's a really nice, actually, shade. And of course, you get the figure himself, Slag. Okay, and we'll start off with looking at Daniel. You thought I was going to say Slag, didn't you? Let's just leave him in the background for a second to take a look at this little piece of garbage here. This is terrible. And so his arms hinge here. They go all the way around. It's on a ball joint. That's really all that could do. Legs, this, out, and that's really all that they could do. They could have at least given us a clear piece for the head. That would have at least been something. But it's actually worse than the wheelie figure we got with Grimlock. He has some paint yellow. He has some sort of grayish blue tone for the hands. Different color gray there. He's got like different colors of paint. Pretty decent colors of paint. And even here, but they put zero effort in making this thing even relatively usable or even a good pack-in figure. So we're really here for the main event, which is Slag, and he looks great. He is an absolute beast of a transformer, not a masterpiece, so don't say it, but he does look really good. He has a bit of a backpack, but it all folds up really nicely. And he has the trademark wings, the horn sticking up in the back, tons of detail throughout. He has not really any gaps to speak of. It's a very nicely done figure. I absolutely love the way this guy looks. Let's get in a little close up on him. Starting out with that face sculpt. His eyes are done in that beautiful metallic blue. His head is cast in a bright red. Very nice, very reminiscent of the cartoon and the movie, as it should be. Going down, he's got the Autobot logo and more of that pearlescent sort of type of gray. Tons of detail on his arm, his chest, his abdomen, his crotch area. Does have a little bit of splitting right there on the leg, which I'm not too fond of, but I could kind of overlook it. Green and blue, metallic blue again, same as the eyes. Done up in you can see all this metallic gray plastic. He has these are painted gold here. Just done up really nicely as far as the detail is concerned all throughout this figure. He is a looker for sure. Okay, as you can see, I already have him armed up with his cannon, and he does have this other accessory. Now, what can you do with this accessory, you may ask? Well, if you know Grimlock at all, he does have a couple places he could sit. If you look under here, there is a little peg on his ass. What you could do is take him, and he has a little hole here. Just kind of peg that in on his shoulder, just like you can Grimlock. And you could have Daniel sit on Slag's shoulder for reasons. I guess that's one way to display him, because you can't really stand this little bastard up. He does not want to stand very easily at all unless you put him in the sumo wrestling pose. He could probably stand up there, or maybe I don't know, I don't know. It's hard to get this guy to stand up and make it look any good at all. Maybe partially running he could do, or kneeling. He could do like a help, I'm having trouble standing up sort of pose. I don't know. It's terrible. Garbage. Otherwise, this is a really good figure. I much would have seen that be a sword. That would have been fantastic. So, let's get on to some comparisons, and then we'll get on to articulation. First up for comparison, we'll go with his cartoon model. And his cartoon model, as you can see, is much more slender. They actually beefed this guy up for this mode, for the robot mode, instead of having him be super accurate to the cartoon, which is much more slender of a figure. He looks really good. It was incredibly intentional, because the way his shoulders are out like this and gives him that really broad, very strong Dinobot look. I'm glad they went with this. He looks fantastic. All right, here he is with Leader Class Optimus Prime, Leader Class Grimlock. Now, he may look a little taller, but actually isn't. They're relatively the same in height. I didn't measure them, but if he's maybe has a little bit of head height on him, it's just this that makes him look taller. Very comparable at height. Love these. I want the rest. And, of course, the obligatory Generation 1 version of him. As you can see, I would love these little blue stickers to go here. I'd love to see Toy Hacks come out with those. Maybe even some of this detail here on him would look great. And because we have to, here are these two together. Believe it or not, this guy has a turning head and rotating arm and a waist. Much more articulation than this does. Come on, Hasbro, get with the program. Now for articulation, he's relatively good. So you could lift this up a little bit and get my hand in there, and you could actually move his head, and his head's on a ball joint. It is on this little flap, kind of like the Megatron was originally, which does kind of push down. It's not too terrible, but it does give him a little bit if you want to look up and look down a little bit more. It does a little bit of range of motion. He could do the kind of confused look. He has 360 degrees at the shoulder, and it's clicky. We love some clicky shoulders. It goes out about that far. He has bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. Even though you're not going to use this elbow much, it does help. He has 360 degrees of rotating wrist, kind of down like that if you desire. More due to transformation than anything else. He has 360 degrees at the waist. He can kick, clicky kick, out that far. And his tail can move back and get some pretty good range of motion right there. So let's clip that back in place. And his legs can go really far out, complete splits. It also has thigh swivel, double jointed knees for an incredible knee bend, and very wide ankle tilts. All in all, pretty good posability on this guy, which is awesome. So the one thing about this guy is transformation is kind of a bitch. It's easy, but it's a pain in the ass. So let me just take off this and put it aside because you will be needing it. Take his fist, turn his fist completely upside down, and push them in. Same with the other side. If I can stop moving my background, and around and in. You want to take, you can do it in sections. You can do either one first. Take his backpack completely off, extend the tail. It's on a hinge here. And this piece, the tail tends to pop off for me because it has a little tab here. So there we go. Got it without popping off that time. It's because I said it. So let's just leave that like that. And now the one thing I do like and I hate are the way the legs transform. You think they would transform like any other Dinobot, where they just fold up like this, and then the legs, the feet are on the top. That's not the case with this. This does have a little clever mechanism which this pulls out like this. This is the leg, comes out, and put that in. It does leave a gappy hole there, but you're never going to see it. This way up on this leg, and just kind of leave the feet as they are. So that's kind of how that goes. It is kind of a weird way to transform him. And you want to take his waist, twist it all the way around. Now take his legs, move that up, around, and in. So his feet are actually poked out the back. And go ahead, move his arms out of the way for right now. And you want to do that with both legs. But first we're going to leave one. I wanted to show you that real quick. You could leave one. Let's do the chest. So open up the chest, pull out the bottom of the mouth, just close that up just like that. Take these little pieces here, move them up, otherwise you'll pop them off. Now there's 2 hinges right there. Out, around, out and around. These are very tough hinges. Click those in place, move this up, friction that on there. It actually holds really tightly. That's pretty much the front. So now we're going to work to get on the back. Now what you have to do on the back is you take this, see these little tabs right there? See there, right there? It's a pain in the ass. You got to get those in there. And that's on either side, either side. But it's a pain to do. So this has to stay like this. This turns like that, kind of like that shape where it goes out and down. So let's go ahead and lift this leg up, move it around, kind of get those in a place like that, right? There's the faux feet. That's what you think these are. That's the faux fake pieces. So move that in, and then you have to kind of blindly line this all up. The bottom of the tail right here, snap into the front of the feet right here. These snap here and snap there. Now once you get it in, it's pretty good and tight. However, getting there is a lesson in futility, and it is just a pain in the ass because that keeps happening. It's very hard to line up. So I'm going to go ahead and fiddle with it, and I will come back to you. Okay, there. So now that you have the tail in, it is on the bottom there. Don't worry about it. It will pop off. Again, just kind of hold it on there. Make sure there's these 2 little tabs there. You can see the holes there. Kind of make sure you hold that together because these will definitely not. There's definitely not stay. There's the tab right there, and we're just gonna go ahead and squeeze those in. They don't hold particularly well, but once it's in, it's okay. So you want to take the wings, which are still out. Make sure the back is flush in there like that. This black back piece. Just go ahead and close the wings. There are tabs right there, and there's a tab hole right there in the wing. Right, let's see if I can get the camera so you can actually see what I'm trying to talk about right there. And just kind of line those up and just kind of snap them right in on either side. Now we need to take out the feet, which you could have done at really any given time. There we go, take out the leg, unfold and unfold. Unfold, unfold the foot. Last but not least, I forgot about this, towards you'd be needing it. You just take that, say there's a peg right there. Now you could also not put it there, but it does complete the end of the tail actually rather nicely. This looks really good. It doesn't look just like a gun sticking out the end of the tail. It works, it looks good. And his legs are very long. So all in all, let's just tighten him up a little bit. Now check that out. It actually cleans up beautifully. He looks great. Looks very good. So in this mode, all the details show up on him really well. He has some beautifully painted eyes that look like they're even clear, but they're not. It's just the way the shape is, the metallic paint in there. The beautiful eyes definitely stand out. He has Autobot logo shows up here, gold painted face. Yeah, all the detail in this piece of the fins right here. More of that gray color I was talking about here, gold up here. The red knees show through, the red up here. All this detail, the side, back here, the leg, gold for the tail. You can actually see where the feet are. They kind of blend in and they don't look obtrusive like I thought they would. He is very hollow there due to transformation, so that is one downside, but it's not too terrible. I actually don't really mind it. Articulation in this mode, now you think these would move, but these are stationary. They do not move. His mouth does open. Oh, and look at that. You don't even see his head in there. Oh, what is that? That is cool. That is a little point for blast effects. Now, you know, we have a ton of these. Let's see if I can just get that in there. And it's kind of there. Now he's spouting out flames. So that is very cool. I'm glad they're adding some sort of play value to link them together with the other figures and the other lines of the War for Cybertron line. Very cool. He has some articulation. His legs are back articulated forward and backward, actually all the way around. Do transformation. He has articulation here, but he has some like a knee joint there. Same as the arms here. Kind of double jointed here. He does go out. So these are his arms. And like I showed you, the mouth, which is very cool. So let's get to some comparisons, shall we? All right, let's comparison to Generation 1. Wait, that's Generation 2. How'd you get in there? Either way, here he is. Here he is. You can just imagine he's silver. That's how he compares to the Generation 1, Generation 2 version. I would like to see it clear, honestly. I'm a big fan of clear, but this is how he is in the movie. He still looks really good. It's no real complaint, but looks... I do like it. And one thing that they did capture is a lot of that detail that's on the Generation 1 and 2 figures, like with the triangle and the little tube there, and the side piece. It doesn't have this, but he does have some circuitry in there. I guess you could paint it if you want to, which is very, very reminiscent of this, with the same shape, the 3 dots, the 2 lines. It's all the same. They did an excellent job with the ribs, everything. It was really detailed. All this little piece here and here. They really did a good job of mimicking this. I absolutely love that, including the feet back here with the lines and the squares at the top, and you know, even in the front with the detail. They did a good job. They did just a really excellent job on this. Here he is with the Combiner Wars one. I forgot to show him in robot mode, but we don't really care, do we? Because this one is kind of garbage after this. Actually, no, I still really like this one. He has the clear and everything, but definitely much better than this little one. And the size! And here he is with Studioseries Grimlock. You can't even see him. So these two scale wonderfully together, as they should, because they are part of the same line. And yeah, man, these look good. I can't wait to see the rest of the Dinobots. I really can't wait to see the rest of the Dinobots in this line. I think these are going to look fantastic together. And if they don't do it, I'm going to stop collecting, Hasbro. Listen to me. Stop collecting. Do the Dinobots. Do the Dinobots. These are awesome. So stick around for my final thoughts on this guy. So Studioseries 86 Slug. Thanks for sticking with me. I love this guy. I think he does need some splash of colors. I would like to see Toy Hacks give him a sword and some of the stickers or something. I would love to see some little upgrades for him, but it's not really necessary. He's pretty good standalone. Overall, it cleans up really nicely, and he's big. I'd love to see the rest of Dinobots all chunky and big bots like they should be on the shelf. To be really something to see. Kind of disappointed we haven't heard of any new ones yet. I thought we would. Maybe later this month. We'll see. But, you know, I like this guy. You like this guy. Like this video. Subscribe. And I'll catch you guys soon.